Hey, hey, hey. Grand evening, everyone. Grand evening. Boss Conversations with Janeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, I am going to be talking to the restaurant co owner, the co owner of Life Bistro Atlanta Vegan Restaurant. And we're going to be talking about like good health, good eating, how this brother and his partner got into this business, all that good stuff. What delicious meals that they have at his restaurant. I put my green vegan lipstick on, lip gloss on today. Green for the vegan, ready to go. So thank you all for chiming in. I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on the camera. Hey, hey, hey.
What's going on? What's up,
All right,
Janeah?
all
How you doing?
right. I'm good. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I'm alive. I'm well. Got my health.
Okay. Can't
That's all I can
complain.
really.
That's
That's all you can ask for these days.
Yep. Be alive and well, especially nowadays, because it's going down.
It is going down, man. They
It's
picked
going.
the worst day to do fireworks outside of my building today. So people are like looking out the balcony, like, what's going on?
What are you doing? Fireworks for what?
I do not know, but it was the worst timing.
Oh my goodness. Wow, wow. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight because I really do think a lot more people need to know about your restaurant, how you got started, and even with being able to cook vegan food. So you ready to roll?
I'm ready to go. You got some good questions for me?
I sure do.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
So let's start off by you introducing yourself and your business.
Yeah, my name is Issa Prescott. I'm the CEO of Life Bistro. Life Bistro is a vegan fine dining restaurant, the first of its kind, and still the only black-owned vegan fine dining restaurant in all of the city of Atlanta. There are tons of vegan options in Atlanta, many black-owned, but we're the only one that offers a fine dining experience with cocktails. Right now, we're doing beer and wine. We've got a weekend brunch that starts at 11 a.m. that has really taken off since the beginning of this year. And we still have a lot of really cool things in store coming in the near future. So you just got to tap in with us at Life Bistro, and you'll get to find out a little bit of everything what we have going on for the rest of 2022.
Cool. Where are you guys located?
Yes, we're located in the heart of the city of Atlanta, Southwest Atlanta to be exact. The address
SWAT?
is, yes, SWATS, Southwest Atlanta, too strong if you don't know what that means. But it's 2036 Sylvan Road, Atlanta, Georgia, 30308. You can also find us online at www.lifebistroatl.com. In addition to that, we're on Instagram. We're Life Bistro ATL. We're on TikTok at Life Bistro. We pretty much got everything. As you can imagine, in this modern era, tapping in with the social media is really important. So we're online. We have our storefront, and we have a great dining room as well.
So I'm just so excited that you are offering a fine dining experience. But I want to know, why did you choose to open such an elegant restaurant in the area that you chose? Because you could have gone to a more affluent neighborhood and, been just as successful, but maybe just had a different crowd or
Mhm.
dynamic. Why did you choose that area?
Well, it's actually located in a historic neighborhood, Sylvan Hills, crosses over with Capitol View, and it's a neighborhood that I actually grew up in. I've grew up there. My family moved there when I was about 7 years old, and my parents still live in that same neighborhood. And then right across the way in the parking lot, my sister owns a salon, and she actually had her business first, which really opened my eyes up to the business opportunity in that neighborhood. So I always wanted to have a healthy restaurant in that neighborhood just because there's really not a lot of options over there. We are about two neighborhoods over from the West End where you do have some other vegan options, but right over there in Sylvan Hills, which is right on the the cusp between East Point and the West End and Metropolitan Parkway. It's like right in that little area. It's really just not a lot of vegan options and healthy food options. Growing up, all we could get was wings and fries.
Yep.
And so, I was really proud to be able to bring the first really healthy food and dining experience to that neighborhood. I mean, not only is it a healthy restaurant that is solving the problem of a food desert, but we really are the only dining restaurant in that area as well. Like, and that covers all types of restaurants. Like, you can't find the type of thing that we're doing over there. So, this is my first restaurant. We were able to build a relationship with the landlords after my sister opened up her salon called Yaya's Natural Hair Boutique. Go ahead and give a quick shout out to her.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and another thing that a lot of people probably don't know is that the property that we rent out of is actually black owned. So you have a basically a business plaza marketplace where the owners are black. You have at least, I want to say, probably like 80% of all the business inside of that plaza are black owned.
Come on.
um and all of them are people of color. Like, so even the ones that aren't black owned, I believe it's people of Hispanic, Asian, and Arabic descent. So it's a really cool area. And on top of that, we really can see a lot of development happening over there. It's right on the heart of the belt line. And then you've got Murphy Crossing right up the street. You have the university. What do they call that new area that they're building up over there on University Avenue? But yeah, it's a really cool area with a lot of potential as well. So we're proud to be over there. We still get kind of offended when people ask us, "Why did y'all choose to have your restaurant over here?" But we understand that people are just not used to really having vision and being
Right.
able to see that in order to put a business in an area like that, you have to first be able to visualize something that's not already there. And you have
Right.
to be able to see that even though there's a gas station up the street where all type of stuff happens, we can create a really safe and nice space over there. And it's been really cool to just help that part of the neighborhood flip and turn into something that's really positive and inviting for the neighborhood. We see folks from the neighborhood coming. We get people traveling from all over the city coming there, and we get people traveling from other states as well. We're 10 minutes from the airport. We're 5 minutes from downtown. So we're pretty much right where we want to be in terms of being able to reach the folks that we want to reach.
Yeah, and that's powerful, because I know you guys did have the opportunity to put your restaurant anywhere. And shout out to you too for deciding to give our people that experience. Because when we talk about our communities, some of those people can only get somewhere by bus, right? And
Right.
so sometimes they'll never really, as you said, there's no other places in the area that have a sitting dining experience. And the other ones, even if it is a dining experience, it's not a fine dining experience. So
Exactly. Exactly.
to have to be able to be in walking distance to some of these people can make a difference in how some people's birthdays are going to turn out, date nights and things like that. Because sometimes these people save up all along for these special days, and you're putting those opportunities right there for them and healthy. So when I look at your food, it looks so mouth watering. And I know that you guys also have what you call comfort vegan food. how important was it? Because you guys got some fried stuff, some fried
Yeah.
options, like how important was it to kind of fulfill that little aspect of the whole thing?
Yeah, I think that was that was very important. I mean, you know our people, right? We like to eat. And one thing I've learned is vegans, they really like to eat,
Yeah,
especially because we so used to being starved everywhere we go, like you go to a normal restaurant and you gotta look through the sides menu to find something you can eat, and hopefully ask the chef, can he throw together some vegetables and add an avocado to it. So I mean, we
right,
we want to eat good just like everybody else. And I was fortunate that I've always wanted to be a chef. I've always been fond of cooking, and when I started the ATL vegan like Instagram page that I have, ATL underscore vegan, about 4 or 5 years ago, I just really was able to get in touch with the vegan community and figure out what is the stuff that gets vegans the most excited. And at the time, I had a job that sent me all around the country. So almost every day I was posting a new vegan restaurant from around wherever I was traveling
right.
to at that
You was
time. and
eating good,
and the whole time, I'm eating good. I'm learning. I'm taking notes, right? I'm also trying to figure out, okay, I can't take this stuff home with me to Atlanta, but I can figure out how to make it. I can Google some ingredients. So what I found out was the stuff that I was cooking at home and posting that to my page was actually getting more likes than the restaurants that I was going to. So it kind of just got the gears turning to have me thinking like, man, I think my food might be able to, if not better, it can at least compete with this other stuff, right? So
right?
um just I think, we've seen a culture of vegan junk food sort of take Atlanta by storm and take the vegan community by storm. And so I wanted to so that kind of let me know, like, okay, vegans really want to eat, they want the comfort food, but I still wanted to fill that niche of how can we give them like this mouth-watering, really delicious, filling food experience, but then still offer them that one thing that we can't get right now, which is a sit down, nice experience, sit at a table, have a server come to you, read the menu and the specials, and you
Treat you
know what
like
I'm
a
saying?
boss,
Like,
like royalty.
yes, like, and I'm a foodie. Like, I love going to restaurants. So for me, it's just so fun to have a restaurant and to be able to wake up with a new idea, and by the end of the week, that idea is implemented in the restaurant. Like, that's what I love the most about being a restaurant owner, is just the fact that you can always be creative. And I fancy myself as being a creative. I do music, I make beats, I like to cook. I used to play the drums when I was little. So I'm always trying to create, I'm always trying to do fun things like that. So for me, having a restaurant is a great way to just sort of fulfill those different aspects of who I am as well.
That's dope. So that is so dope, so dope. What is your level of veganism? Like, are you a
Uh-oh.
vegetarian, a vegan, a pescatarian?
You trying to get me in trouble now.
Yeah, like,
Uh, no, I'm
what
gonna
are
give y'all the
you?
real deal. I'm gonna give y'all the real deal. So, I would say I'm like probably 98% full alkaline vegan. But and when I first like got into the alkaline vegan lifestyle, I was extremely strict. Like, everything had to be alkaline. Like, if it wasn't, I wasn't putting it into my body. I mean, I went on like a 6 month fruit only diet. You
How did you
know,
feel?
I mean, I felt amazing. Like, it really was like a transformational moment in my life where I really was able to come up with all of the ideas for the restaurant.
I was just about to ask you, did it affect you mentally? Do you
Uh,
think like you were more alert, or did it just affect how you felt physically?
I mean, I have to say it affected me mentally just because the first thing that I notice is the way I feel immediately after I eat, which
Mm,
is, I no longer get that like super full, bloated, stomach hurt feeling after I eat my food. Like, even if I eat a lot of food, I might feel a little full for a little while, but 15 minutes later, my stomach feels fine. I'm not holding on to multiple meals throughout the day. Um, just noticing little things like that can definitely affect your mental health. And then, you know, I would say once I started that journey, when you start doing one thing for yourself that's good and healthy, it's really hard to continue to indulge in all the other things that are still not unhealthy.
unhealthy.
So, it made me become more aware of how much alcohol I was drinking. It made me become aware of the fact that I wasn't exercising that much.
Mm,
It made me become aware of the fact that I really wasn't doing anything for my mental health. So, I started going to therapy and, started doing yoga and like just started becoming this like super holistic person. I'm like, who am I? But I mean, I also believe that there's balance. So, when you talk about like what am I, vegan, flexitarian, I consider myself to be a vegan like 99% of the time. Usually when I'm out of the country traveling, or if I go somewhere and like I'm just like, you know what, like this could be like a once in a lifetime experience. Just trying this food. I might try whatever, like even if
right,
it's not
right.
vegan. But I do try to,
What's the
for the most
craziest
part.
thing you've tried?
I mean, like not nothing too crazy, like fish. Like I've eaten when
Oh,
I
so
went
you
to
haven't done? Have you
Colombia.
done a live octopus?
No, oh no, I couldn't do that. I could not do that. I do not want to eat octopus. It don't look good to me. Um,
No, it doesn't.
but yeah, like I mean, I've been on dates before where I nibbled on my date's calamari or something like that. But the funniest thing is that whenever I do that, I'm quickly reminded like why I'm vegan. I'm like, you know what? That I didn't like that. Like it wasn't good.
Mm,
My cravings don't really go crazy like that. Like, and what I've learned is that if you can figure out how to make some good vegan food, and that's really what the whole purpose of Life Bistro is, then you don't, then the cravings for all that other stuff, it starts to go away because you like, I can find some really, really good tasty food that's vegan. So that's helped with not really even having the desire to eat any type of meat or animal products.
cool. Who taught you how to cook?
Okay, so I would say my first teacher was definitely my mom. Like growing up, we all had a day to cook, and I think I was the only one out of all my four siblings that was like happy that it was my day to cook. And so I would have fun with it. I would even jump in there on the days that wasn't my day. And
Okay.
I just remember always watching my mom cook and asking her questions. So like she's making gravy and she's toasting flour. What is that? What are you doing? Why are you putting that in there before you put all of that in there? And she's explaining it to me, or I would always see her like every meal she cutting up onions. I'm like, why everything got onions in it? It's like, okay, that's the flavor. And then I really appreciate the fact that my mom introduced me to being a vegetarian at a young age. So we started out as vegetarians. That's how we were born. Back then, they didn't have vegan wasn't a word back then. It was just you was a vegetarian or you were a strict vegetarian, right?
Right, right.
Um, and so we were a vegetarian. We ate cheese and dairy products, but for the most part, we didn't eat any meat. Growing up, we did gradually get into chicken, fish, and turkey, but I would say we really didn't have any red meat growing up in our house, or none of that other like exotic meats. So I learned from my mom was my first teacher. I learned a lot from my dad as well. He also taught me a lot about cooking vegan food, and he taught me how to make the tofu pepper steak, which is like still to this day one of the best vegan dishes you'll try. Even though people not really into tofu like that as much because of the soy, but I learned a lot from him. And then I think when I was like 8 or 9, I told my mom I wanted to be a chef. So she did two things. One, she signed me up for a cooking camp, which was at the Kroger in Peachtree City. And I
Okay.
did that camp 2 years in a row. And then another thing she started doing on, I believe it was my 10th birthday, she said, once a month, I'm going to take you to a restaurant and we're going to have a sit down dining experience and we're going to order up whatever you want. And you can really just get into this restaurant world, which is something that most kids don't get to experience. Right. So,
Right.
and I was so interested and fascinated by that. And I think in the back of my mind, I always knew I wanted to have my own restaurant. I knew I wanted to be a chef. I worked at tons of restaurants. Like when I was in high school, I worked at Pascal's, and when I was in college, I worked at a couple of restaurants, and I was always the food runner. So I would always be in that position where I was dealing with the customers, but I was also in the kitchen watching the cooks.
Right.
And so I would watch them. I would watch the techniques. I'd be like, oh, that's how you make Alfredo. It's just Parmesan cheese and heavy cream, and then they mix it up.
Hmm.
So I would go home, try it, and be surprised, like, oh wow, that actually worked, right? So, um, yeah, it was just a process of having many teachers, playing around with cookbooks. YouTube and Google became a great teacher once I really got into the vegan lifestyle. And then Instagram, like once Instagram started getting popular, like the vegans really had a community to lean on because we really couldn't do it alone. Like you could come up with one or two recipes, but
Right.
eventually you're like, how do you make vegan Alfredo sauce? Like, how is it done? And I remember the first time I Googled the cashew cheese Alfredo and I was like, oh, I don't even need heavy cream and Parmesan cheese no more because this is hitting, right? So, yeah, many teachers, and I would say they all definitely contributed to me being able to lead the kitchen at Life Bistro.
I definitely I also want to add, I think I know who else probably influenced you, and that's your community that you grew up with, your extended and biological
Absolutely.
aunties and uncles and babas and yeah, grandmas, because I always tell Yakini, um, it was your family that really introduced me to vegan food, and like knowing that vegan food could actually taste good. And I will never forget, like I remember it like the back of my head when I came to one of you all's Kwanzaa events at your mom's
Hmm.
house, and I couldn't stop eating the food. It was so good. And I really had to tell myself, like, you can't eat no more. Like, they gonna think you crazy. But I'm like, what is this? And I remember that I kept asking Yakini, like, what is
Yeah.
this? What is this? What is this? But everything was so good, so flavorful. And that was the first time, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be 100 with you. Before that, I was like, I don't want no vegan. Like you couldn't, especially some of the things you all had. If
Yeah.
before that somebody would have told me, I'd have been like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm gonna just go to the restaurant. And I'll meet you
Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah.
But it
And that's
really
not your fault,
came.
man, because I feel like it really, before like what 2010, finding vegan food was just like a complete struggle. Like not even that early, like probably like 2016 is really when you started seeing good options, like stuff that was
Right.
just really tasty. And people they want to eat good just because they're eating healthy. They still want it to taste good. So, but yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought up the Kwanzaa events. Like, uh, my mom is like the Kwanzaa queen, so
Yes.
she would lead the way with the cooking, and then it was potluck pre-pandemic, so everybody bringing dishes and everybody share, and that's really what Kwanzaa is all about, the food. So that's not the only thing it's about, but that's the part that we usually love the most. So yeah.
Right. So, what are some of your most popular dishes at the restaurant that people are really
Oh,
craving?
okay. Oh yeah. So the number one dish by far is the seafood Rasta pasta. It
Yes.
is a so we I guess you could say I, but we, as in like bistro, we created a really tasty vegan Alfredo sauce that is soy free, nut free, and it just tastes amazing. Everyone loves it. and we take that Alfredo sauce. We put some jerk seasoning on there. We toss the penne noodles with some sauteed red peppers and onions, and then we found these konjac root shrimp that we put on top of it, and then to top it all off, we put some mango salsa and chimichurri, and then I mean it all just comes together to just be one of the most tastiest things you've ever had, and I say that like vegan food, non-vegan food, it's one of the tastiest dishes you could have in the city of Atlanta. So uh, we usually never go wrong recommending that. After the Rasta pasta, we do a lot with fried mushrooms. So
Hmm.
we have this one appetizer, the sweet and spicy oyster mushrooms, where we take fried oyster mushroom. We take oyster mushrooms, we batter them in spelt flour, which is an alkaline grain, and then we deep fry it in some grapeseed oil, which is an alkaline oil. Costs us about 5 times as much as regular oil, but it's worth it, just for health wise, and for making sure that we're feeding our customers healthy food, because that's what they come to us for. And then we put a sweet and spicy sauce on them that really just makes it like it's everything you ever wanted in some fried mushrooms. And then I would say everything on the menu is so good, but if I had to name one other dish, oh man, what would I go with? Probably. Oh yeah, how can I not mention the oyster mushroom po' boy? So we take those same fried oyster mushrooms, we put them on a vegan baguette. So if you're from New Orleans, it's probably something that you would appreciate. But we put it on the baguette with the lettuce, some diced tomatoes, and then we serve it up with our Creole cheese sauce. And then I gotta shout out my mama again, who helped inspire our mac and cheese recipe. Like she makes the best real mac and cheese with the real cheese, and I think I make the best vegan mac and cheese.
Okay.
We don't use any processed cheeses or any store bought ingredients that are like pre made. Everything is cooked from scratch. And then that mac and cheese is really really good. Like it doesn't have any of that like processed food aftertaste that you get oftentimes from those vegan cheeses that you find in the stores. And it's just
Or the
really good.
lactose that people, a lot of people love macaroni, but they have to sacrifice to eat it. Like it's a lot
Yes,
of people I know who like they sacrifice to eat it. They know it's gonna be some problems after
right.
they
And
eat
they
it, but
don't
they
care,
just
right?
want to
They'll
have
eat
it.
it. Yeah, and that's what I love about our food, man. It's easy on your stomach. You can pretty much eat as much of it as you want to, and you're still gonna feel good.
Okay. You guys have juices there too, right?
Yes, we have cold pressed juice. Before that was actually my first business before I started Life Bistro was ATL Juice Company, which I would go around to all the festivals and events and sell my cold pressed juices, which is another opportunity for me to really get in touch with the health food community and find out what is it that you're looking for in vegan food in a vegan restaurant. So, cold people come to us for our cold pressed juice. For our alkaline vegan food, we've got organic coffee. Um, and what else? We have a couple really good vendors that we work with. And when I think about it, all of our vendors are Black women owned companies. So we use Vitace Cakes for our cakes and our cupcakes. We use Christie's Cobblers for our peach cobbler. We use Indigo Springs for our alkaline water. And I'm not sure if y'all have ever heard of Majesty's Iced Tea. She pretty much located all over the city, but we use her for her really good sorrel sweet teas and a couple other
Okay.
products that she makes. And then we have another company. I forget the name of their company. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. But we get our microgreens because we like to decorate the food with the microgreens and hit it with a little bit of extra nutrients. And we use a company for that as well. That's Black woman owned as well.
All right, all right, all right. So let me real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Show you guys.
Yeah, I ain't say
Yeah.
nothing. I didn't. I mentioned it real quick, the brunch, but on the weekends,
Yes,
man,
the brunch.
the brunch is going crazy. Like people are really loving the spelt waffles with the fried mushrooms. We call it chicken and waffles. We serve mimosas. You can get the mimosas made with cold pressed juice. So I mean, like I like to think that everything we do it fun. We do it to taste good, but we try to make it the healthiest version of the thing, right? So you're not supposed to eat fried food, but if you do eat fried food, at least try to use alkaline grains and alkaline oil. You know, you shouldn't drink alcohol, but if you are going to drink a mimosa, let it not be a mimosa filled with a bunch of sugar, like the sugary orange
Right,
juice. Like get the cold pressed juice with that little bit of ginger kick in there. You know, just everything being a little bit healthier.
right. I wanted to also point out to everyone that on his website, if you go into his menu, there is a blog area. And in this blog area, it has a lot of great articles that are helpful for a lot of different things that you may be experiencing a vegetarian diet for PCOS, which a lot of women experience this. What you need to know. How do you want to stop being a vegetarian or vegan? So forth on. Is brown rice vegan? So I just wanted to show this to people because you could go to his website, Life Bistro Atlanta, ATL.com. And not only can you get his menu and see things about the restaurant, the information, but there's a nice blog here that I wanted to show you guys that you really could use to get some information on veganism and things of that nature. I'm gonna throw that out
Appreciate that.
there before we,
Yeah.
close it
No,
out.
for real though, it's some good information on there. Check out the blog if you just need some motivation or you want to learn something more about this vegan lifestyle.
Yes, yes, man. Shout out to your mom for producing these wonderful kids. I have to say, some of you guys have been watching me from the beginning. Okay, so we speak about his sister. I met him through his sister. And when I met him, he was a teenager. His sister and I went to college together. So I've known him and watched him grow up. And it's just I'm so proud of you. This is dope
Oh,
that
thank
you
you.
have achieved such a accomplishment and goal. And I know you're gonna do even more because it's almost like you and Yakini probably have a little silent competition that y'all don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? And now she done opened her second business. So you guys, shout out to we talked about her hair
Yep.
boutique which is on one end of the strip, but right next to her hair boutique on the 30th of last month was her grand opening for her second business, which is Yep Pop-up shop. Her space is available. You can rent it hourly. You can rent it for the day. It is a space that you can rent to have events, to sell your products, private events, whatever you want to do. She has AM and PM slots. So shout
Mhm.
out to her and this Yep pop-up shop. Even if you forget where it is, just remember it's on the same strip as Life Bistro. Okay, so that's three businesses owned by sister and brother, all like right next
Yep.
to each other. Shout out to your mama, okay, and your dad.
Yes.
Shout out to y'all whole village because, you know, briefly before we go, can you talk about how important it is to have a powerful village? Because that is one thing I personally have witnessed with you and your sister. And then I see how successful you
Hmm.
guys are. Y'all have a strong village. How
Hmm.
important is that?
Oh man, it has been paramount to the success of both of our businesses. I mean, if I just rewind and take you to the grand opening of Life Bistro, we literally, I mean, to this day, I think maybe once or twice we've done it, but we've never like outdone what we did on our grand opening in terms of like the amount of people that showed up. And I was just so honored when I realized that like 75% of the people that came to the grand opening were like my friends, my family, people I grew up with, people from the vegan community, folks that have been coming to that Kwanzaa party that my mom has been throwing every year. Like, and still to this day, it's that same community of people that has turned into regulars at our business, at my business, and have helped to support us and keep us going. Like, whenever I walk through Life Bistro, it's like a 50-50 chance that I'm going to see somebody that I know, that I mean, not like just a person I met on Instagram, but like somebody I truly know, have known for years. And it's so cool to see people just supporting, right? Like, not wanting nothing in return. I
Right.
still haven't had none of my people call me up and say, "Hey, can I get a free meal just because I know you?" Like, I
Right.
thought that was gonna happen. No one has ever done that. They're just always wanting to come support and
And
just be a
respect.
part of it. Yeah, like, so it's shown me how to be a supporter of people's businesses, and I'm always out there looking for ways to continue to pay it forward and support whoever else is having a business. So the community is everything, and I would just say, you know, I got to shout out to the community that I grew up in. We grew up in a very Afrocentric, health conscious, spiritually conscious community, and that same community has really still been there for us, in terms of supporting our businesses, showing up. But more than anything, it gave us a foundation of understanding the importance of entrepreneurship and of having our own things, because we grew up in an African dance ensemble run by Sister Omelika, that now has Giwa
Yeah.
and Mata, the biggest
Right.
African dance ensemble in the city. And I grew up working with my dad in Philadelphia on his stand. He's a street vendor and selling his jewelry and incense and oils. And I grew up watching my mom start her own consulting firm and work with schools and nonprofits all over the city of Atlanta. And I grew up with friends that also have their own businesses as well. So I think it's the community that is not only showed up to support, but also helped to set that foundation, of what it means to for us to create our own things and to be there for each other when it comes to the food and the community and the services that we need on a daily basis.
That's dope, bro. That is so dope. Well, where can the people find you? All
Yes.
your socials. How can they find Life Bistro?
Yeah, let's drop all the socials real quick. So once again, you can find us we're online, www.lifebistroatl.com. We're on Instagram, Life Bistro ATL. You can follow my personal Instagram is ATL_vegan. I do a lot of reels and TikToks on vegan recipes and just spreading the energy and spreading the love around the vegan community. We're on TikTok, at Life Bistro, and we're also on Facebook as well, Life Bistro ATL on Facebook. So pretty much everywhere, you can always just Google the name Life Bistro, and I think everything will come up, and you can find us that way as well.
All right, all right, all right. So I did drop the link for his website in the chat, so you guys will have it even when we get off of here. Bro, one more question before I let you go. How do you define success?
Mm. Man, one of those questions I should have prepared for. I think it's important for everyone to, when it comes to defining success, to figure out what that means for you, because I think we live in a world where we're all pressured to constantly do more. We set goals for ourselves, and oftentimes we don't even sit and relax enough to enjoy the fact that we just accomplished a major goal that we had set before we're setting the next goal and feeling like we're still not doing enough, right? So for me, success for me means being able to serve my community healthy food and not having to compromise what we believe in terms of health and wellness, to make money,
Yep.
and to be able to create some self sustainability where, not having to depend on anyone but ourselves, to make a living. So, I'm getting to that point. I do still work a 9 to 5 job. which it's work that I enjoy. It's in the nonprofit dealing with youth development. But eventually I want to just be able to focus on my entrepreneurship, and yeah, that's what success means to me. It means being able to stick to my values and not having to compromise, and to be able to create self sustainability financially for me and my family. It doesn't have to be, you know, making millions and millions of dollars, but just to be able to make enough to live comfortably and take care of my family. That will be success for me. And it doesn't have to be 10 life bistros. People always ask me, when y'all gonna get the next location? When y'all gonna be in the mix? When y'all gonna have a Buckhead location? Why y'all
Right.
ain't in Midtown? And I'm like, well, that's cool too. That would be nice. But right now, like, I'm really happy with what we did with Life Bistro and where it is, and it's still growing. We still have a lot that we want to do with that one location. So yeah, I just want to continue to be able to provide health and wellness to folks, and to be able to make money from doing something positive for the community.
Dope, dope. Well, I'm so proud of you. Good job. Especially, I think that was a
Yeah.
great answer. You said you should have prepared for it, but I don't think you should have prepared for it because I don't know. It would, you know what I'm saying? When you prepare, it's not as authentic. That was so
Right, right.
authentic. Yeah, and that's what the people needed to hear. And that's what I wanted to hear. Well, I'm proud I heard of that, that you will not compromise. And that's what we need to hear, especially when you're talking about our health and what you feed us, because so many other things are compromised when it comes to what people are feeding us. So shout out to you for that. Any last nuggets before we get off of here?
I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to basically do like a brain dump. A lot of times I have like a lot of things I want to share in terms of our journey and how we got to where we are with the restaurant. People have a lot of questions. So I appreciate you providing this platform to be able to speak on that, and introducing me to your audience. I
Yes,
appreciate that as well. And I wish you well on all your
thank
success.
you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep spotlighting entrepreneurs. We need it, man. These types of interactions and engagements are the only way that we're able to stay in business, is by constantly putting out content and being introduced to new audiences. So thank you to
Yep.
you as well.
No problem, bro. Good luck with your endeavors and everything. And I will be checking back in on you
Okay.
whenever I come to Atlanta. I'm dropping in and I'm gonna go live on here so people can actually see and feel the experience. So
Okay. Okay.
good luck with everything.
All right. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Peace. All right, you guys. That's it. Another boss conversation. I'll see you guys next week, Monday, right back.